Imagine you're 22 years old, fresh out of college. You're ambitious, smart, and ready to conquer the world. Your professors told you that if you work hard, study hard, and keep learning, you'll succeed. Your parents told you the same thing. They worked hard, climbed the corporate ladder, bought a house, raised a family. Hard work worked for them, so it should work for you. Fast forward 10 years. You're 32. You've been working 60-hour weeks. You've earned promotions. You've taken every training course. You've networked. You've sacrificed vacations, weekends, date nights. You're making $90,000 a year, which sounds great, but you look around and realize something's wrong. Your student loans are still there. Rent keeps going up. You can't save for a house. Your retirement account looks pathetic, and your friends who didn't work as hard seem to be doing just as well as you. You start to wonder, did you do something wrong? Was it not hard enough? Not smart enough? No, the problem isn't you. The problem is that the economic math has changed. Hard work used to be a reliable path to prosperity. Now the math proves it's not enough anymore. Today, I'm going to show you the exact numbers that prove this. I'm going to break down the structural changes in wages, housing, debt, taxes, and investment returns that make hard work insufficient. And most importantly, I'm going to show you what actually works in the new math. Here's the brutal truth. Hard work is a multiplier, but it multiplies what you start with. If you start behind and the game changes against you, no amount of effort can get you ahead. The old formula was hard work plus time equals prosperity. The new formula is ownership of assets plus time equals prosperity. Hard work alone equals survival. This isn't motivational speaker nonsense. This is math. Let me prove it. First, wages. In 1979, the average American worker made $23,000 in today's dollars for a full-time job. That same job today pays about $32,000. That's a 39% increase over 45 years. Sounds decent, right? But here's what happened to the cost of living in the same period. Housing costs increased 267%. Healthcare costs increased 460%. College tuition increased 1,200%. Wages went up 39%. Costs went up 400% on average. The math doesn't work. Hard work couldn't keep up with the structural cost increases. But it gets worse. Productivity increased 250% since 1979. Workers produced 2.5 times more value than they did. Where did that productivity gain go? Not to wages. Corporate profits increased 600%. Stock market returns increased 1,000%. The value workers create through hard work went to shareholders and executives, not to the workers themselves. Let me show you the math with a concrete example. Meet Alex. Alex is 35, a project manager at a software company. He works hard, 55 hours per week on average. He's good at his job. He gets promoted every 2 years. He started at $65,000 5 years ago. Now he makes $92,000. He's increased his salary by 41% in 5 years. Impressive. But let's look at what hard work bought him. When Alex started working, average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in his city was $1,500 per month. Now it's $2,400. That's a 60% increase. His health insurance premium was $300 per month deducted from his paycheck. Now it's $650. Doubled. His student loans from college were $400 per month. 10 years later, they're still $400 because he can't pay more without starving. His car payment went from $300 to $500 because he needed a reliable car to commute farther as his rent increased. Groceries are up 25%, gas up 40%, property taxes up 30%. Alex's salary increased 41%, but his living expenses increased 78%. He's working harder and falling behind. This isn't personal failure. This is math. His hard work is being outpaced by structural inflation in the exact things he needs to live. Now let's look at the investment side, because this is where hard work really fails. Alex saves 10% of his income. That's a heroic effort, $9,200 per year. He puts it in a 401k. Over 10 years, that's $92,000 invested.
Assuming an 8% annual return, which is optimistic, his 401k grows to $140,000. Sounds good, but here's what Alex doesn't realize. To retire comfortably, he needs about 20 times his final salary in savings. His final salary might be $150,000. He needs $3 million. At 10% savings rate, growing at 8%, he'd need to work until age 72 to reach $3 million. That's 7 more years than his parents worked. And that's assuming no major medical expenses, no market crashes, no family emergencies. Hard work got his parents to retirement at 65 with a pension. Hard work gets Alex to 72 with no pension and hoping Social Security doesn't get cut. The math proves it. Hard work alone cannot generate enough savings to retire in the new economy. Now, taxes. This is the silent killer. When Alex's parents were working, the top marginal tax rate was 70%, but effective rates for middle class were around 20%. Today, with state taxes, payroll taxes, sales taxes, property taxes, the effective tax rate for someone making $92,000 is 28%. Federal income tax, state income tax, Social Security, Medicare, all adding up. Alex works hard to earn $92,000, but after taxes, he takes home $66,000. His parents took home 80% of their income. He takes home 72%. That 6% difference compounds over 40 years. It's the difference between having enough and not having enough.
So who's the villain here? The villain isn't lazy people or bad bosses or even inflation. The villain is the disconnect between the value hard work creates and the compensation hard work receives. The villain is a system where productivity gains go to capital, not labor. Workers work harder and produce more, but owners capture the gains. CEOs used to make 30 times what their average worker made. Now they make 320 times. In 1978, the average CEO made $1 million. The average worker made $30,000. Ratio was 33 to 1. Today, average CEO makes $18 million. Average worker makes $65,000. Ratio is 277 to 1. Hard work at the worker level increased wages by about 15% in real terms since 1978. Hard work at the CEO level increased compensation by 1,800%. The same hard work, vastly different outcomes. Why? Because hard work at the ownership level scales. Hard work at the employee level is linear. If Alex works twice as hard, he might get a 10% raise. If the CEO works twice as hard, or more importantly, if the company scales twice as big, the CEO's compensation scales exponentially because it's tied to ownership. This is the structural villain. Hard work worked when wages kept pace with productivity and costs. Now, hard work keeps you alive, but only ownership builds wealth. Let me prove this with the banana jungle analogy, because nothing explains this better. You're a monkey in the jungle. There are 2 strategies for getting bananas. Strategy 1, work for the banana plantation owner. Every day, you pick 100 bananas. The owner pays you 10 bananas. You eat your 10 bananas and think, if I pick faster, maybe I'll get 12 bananas tomorrow. So you work harder. You pick 120 bananas. The owner is thrilled. His profits go up 20%. He gives you 11 bananas. You're excited about your 10% raise. But here's the math. You increased your output by 20% and got 10% more bananas. The owner got 20% more profit from your 20% more work. You worked harder, he got richer. Strategy 2, own your own banana tree. You take your 10 bananas from the owner, but instead of eating them all, you plant a tree. Year 1, no bananas. You're hungrier than the other monkeys. Year 2, your tree gives you 20 bananas. You're still behind. Year 3, your tree gives you 50 bananas. Now you're even. Year 5, your tree is mature, giving you 150 bananas. You eat 10 and plant more trees. Year 10, you have 5 trees producing 750 bananas. Now you're the plantation owner. Monkeys work for you. You pay them 10 bananas each to pick 100. You keep 90. And here's the humor. The monkeys who mocked you for wasting bananas on trees now beg to work for you. They say, just let me pick your bananas. I'll work really hard. And you do, because that's how the jungle works. Hard work picking bananas keeps you fed. Owning banana trees makes you rich. The old jungle rewarded pickers because trees were cheap and plentiful.
The new jungle has expensive land, scarce trees, and rising banana prices. Pickers work harder but stay hungry. Tree owners get rich. Hard work isn't enough anymore because the jungle changed. The math changed. Let's look at housing, because this is where hard work completely breaks. When Alex's parents bought their first house in 1985, median home price was $112,000. Median income was $34,000. Houses cost 3.3 times annual income. They put down 10%, $2,400 saved from 1 year's hard work, and got a mortgage for the rest. Monthly payment was about $650, or 18% of their take-home pay. Perfectly affordable. Alex wants to buy a house now. Median home price is $420,000. Median income is $75,000. Houses cost 5.6 times annual income. Even if Alex saves 10% down payment, that's $42,000. At his savings rate of $9,000 per year, that's almost 5 years of maximum saving, with no vacations, no emergencies, no life. Monthly mortgage payment on a $378,000 loan at 6.5% is $2,400. That's 37% of his take-home pay. Lenders say you shouldn't spend more than 28% on housing. Alex can't qualify for the house, even if he saves the down payment. Hard work got his parents a house. Hard work leaves Alex renting forever. The math proves it. Housing costs increased 500% since 1985, adjusted for inflation. Wages increased 110%. Hard work can't bridge that gap.
Healthcare is even worse. Alex's parents paid about 5% of income on healthcare. Alex pays 18% between premiums, deductibles, copays, and out-of-pocket costs. A single hospital stay can wipe out 2 years of savings. Hard work doesn't protect you from a medical bill anymore. College is the final nail. Alex's parents paid about $20,000 for 4 years of college in today's dollars. Alex's student loans are $110,000. He works hard to pay the minimum, but the interest accrues faster than he can pay principal. Hard work extends his debt, it doesn't eliminate it. The math across housing, healthcare, education, and taxes shows that hard work now buys 30 to 40% less lifestyle than it did for previous generations. You're not imagining it, the numbers prove it. So what actually works? The answer is leverage. Not hard work leverage, but ownership leverage. Leverage means your income grows faster than your effort. Employees have time leverage at best. 1 hour of work equals 1 hour of pay. Owners have money leverage, people leverage, asset leverage. Let me show you the math. Employee path. Alex works until 72 to retire with $3 million as calculated earlier. Owner path. Alex starts a side business. Year 1, it costs him $5,000 and makes 0. Year 2, it makes $10,000. He reinvests it. Year 3, $25,000. Year 5, $75,000. Year 10, $250,000 per year. He sells the business at year 15 for $3 million. Total lifetime earnings, $7.8 million. That's 86% more than the employee path. Same hard work, different leverage. Real estate leverage. Alex buys his first rental property at age 35, puts down 20% on a $200,000 property. Monthly rent covers mortgage and expenses, and he pockets $200 cash per month. That's $2,400 per year. After 10 years, he has 3 properties generating $7,200 per year. After 20 years, 10 properties generating $24,000 per year plus appreciation. Hard work to save the down payments, but leverage does the rest. Investment leverage. Alex invests in index funds. 10% returns beat inflation and compound. $1,000 per month from age 30 becomes $600,000 by 65. But if he adds leverage through business or real estate, it becomes $2 million. Here's the action plan. Step 1. Audit your leverage. Calculate your hourly rate. If you make $90,000 per year working 2,000 hours, that's $45 per hour. If your business makes $50,000 working 500 hours, that's $100 per hour. Leverage wins. Step 2. Build one ownership asset. Start small, freelance your skills, buy a rental, create digital products, anything that generates income without your constant time. Step 3. Protect your downside. Keep your job while building. Use employee benefits.
Don't quit until leverage income equals 50% of salary. Step 4. Reinvest aggressively. Take business profits and buy more assets. Leverage compounds leverage. Step 5. Ignore the noise. People will say you're crazy for working on side projects. They'll say real estate is risky. They'll say entrepreneurship has high failure rates. They're right, but staying an employee has a 100% failure rate at building wealth. Choose your risks consciously. The math proves hard work isn't enough anymore, but leveraged hard work is more than enough. The choice is yours. Keep grinding linearly or start building exponentially.